Good evening, everyone. I hope everyone is able to hear me and everyone is able to see my screen. If
Yes,
possible,
sir.
can someone
Yes,
please
sir.
tell? Yeah, thank you.
Everything is clear, sir.
Thank you. So far, we discussed about complete ticket booking application where we were able to create a ticket, update a ticket, delete a ticket, get a ticket, get all tickets. This is what so far we wrote a code and we were able to showcase. And also, whatever at the time of demo I mentioned, configuration, Spring versus Spring Boot, whatever the tabular format I have given, right? Where we have not installed any Tomcat, we have not installed any database, we have not downloaded any jars, we have not downloaded any JDBC jar, we have not written any configuration, dispatcher servlet configuration, or Spring MVC configuration, or any of the configuration. We have not written anything, and just we wrote only our business logic, just a ticket booking application business logic. Just that's what we wrote here. And finally, we were able to achieve the target with a very simple code effort. And we have not written any code in database writing part also. As of now, anyone, any question so far?
Hi, I have a quick question.
Mhm.
This configuration, I believe it gives the default behavior of the Spring Boot, whatever defaults it provides. So,
What configuration? What
no,
configuration
no,
you are talking?
we haven't done any configuration. I understand.
Correct.
So this auto configuration, whatever code we have written, it is taking H2 database and
No, no. We have taken manually H2 database in the pom.xml. It's not that it will automatically take H2 database. Already someone asked the question. I explained two, three times. Let me show again. Okay. It is not a default configuration. We added H2
yes,
dependency.
H2 database.
Then only it will go to H2 database.
Okay. So in general, if you want to add anything, now, if we want to change this behavior, then we need to add some configuration, right? Or we will not have any situation like that to change the default behavior.
First of all, what you want to change? Anything you want to change means it's a very generic, right? Now, what you want to change? You should be very specific what you want to change.
Okay, I really don't have anything to change here. Yes, agree on that.
Yes. For example, because you should be very specific to your question, right? Okay. For example, I want to change to MySQL.
Yeah, so I will add here.
Yes, that I'll remove H2 database. I'll keep my SQL database. I
Okay,
want to change to MongoDB. I'll remove that. I'll keep that. And no code change for me. As it is, it will work.
okay.
So
So
I
yeah, like for the transaction management and all, the default behavior given by Spring Boot is not accessible for me. I want to use some sophisticated library, something like that is what I mean to say.
Transaction management, it is an advanced topic we will discuss. It's a
Okay,
10 to 15, 10 classes advanced topic you're asking. 10 to 15 class advanced topic. I'll discuss and the transaction management comes. Okay.
okay.
Thank you.
Sir,
so
my H2 is not working.
Sir, it's not H2 is not working means there is no concept actually. Okay. I have shared the code.
Pardon?
What error you
ఎక్కడుంది
are,
ఎవరో పెన్ ఉంటుంది తీసుకురా ఏదో పెన్
guys, it's my humble request. Everyone go on mute. Sridhar, Prasad,
Sir, yeah.
what
Sir,
error you are getting?
I am not getting the data actually while uh, scrolling through the data. I am not getting the data actually.
Are you sending a data through Postman?
Yeah.
You are not able to get the data. Are you not getting any error?
I'm not getting any error.
Can you share your screen?
Yeah.
1 second. Yes. It's clearly 1 second. 1 second. Why are you going? Can you go to the code?
I had changed so many things and tried it,
Why
but
please don't change anything. Your application is having lot of compilation problems. Why you are changing lot of things? As it is, keep my code. It will work. If you change a lot of things and if you do some lot of things and don't waste our time and your time, please,
properties file is not required. Illa?
Mr. Prasad,
Yeah, yeah.
kindly don't waste the time. I am sincerely requesting keep as it is my code. Whatever the code I have given, don't try anything on that.
Yeah.
Don't try anything on top of that. Okay? You try it, you
Yeah.
will get it. Thank you. Can you unshare your screen?
One second, sir. Shall I run this?
I'm not sure why you are not listening to me. Guys, you are you listening to me?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
The code is wrong, man. It's giving compilation problem.
Oh,
Ticket booking 2, ticket booking. What is that? You should listen to me what I am trying to say, please.
okay, okay, okay,
Thank you.
okay,
Guys, don't waste the time like this, guys. Please, it's humble request. Okay?
okay, okay.
Yes. And go on mute. And you can stop your share.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Thank you. Any other questions? Guys, everyone is able to see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you. Any other questions so far? Anyone? Everyone is comfortable, right?
Sir, if we are changing any kind of database here, like from H2 or to Oracle,
I'll explain. It's
no,
a
sir. I'm asking. My question is like, how does the framework is doing internally that without doing any Java code change, how it is working
it is a
internally?
ORM responsibility. It's a ORM. That is what we discussed, right? What is a ORM? ORM means if we
Object.
change any database, no impact on the Java code. That is how ORM is created. They created the ORM framework for that only. They wrote the code on whatever the database at runtime, it will inject the data to the database. That is the responsibility of ORM, Hibernate or JPA. That's why the framework is created. Why we have taken JPA, Spring Boot Data JPA is for that only, right? Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay, guys. Now I'll stop taking the questions. Now, my next point is, sir, we are running the code and we are seeing the data. But really, is it going to the database? At least if it goes to the database, I should see some insert statements. I should see some update statements. I should see some select statements, right? Whenever I insert the data, I should see insert statement. Whenever I update the data, I should see update statement. So definitely some SQL statement should go to database, right? Yes or no? So by default, SQL statement logging is disabled. By default, SQL statement logging is disabled. We can enable that. How to enable SQL logging is you need to go to application.properties. Okay. As of now, we have not created anything where what is that we need to write is here. These are the properties. Spring.jpa.show-SQL. That is equal to true. Okay. So by default, spring.jpa.show-SQL. If at all, if it is true, then only it is going to write all the database statements to the console. It will log all the database statements to the console. Spring.jpa.show-SQL is equal to true. This is going to log all the database statements to the console. That's the first point. And while logging to the console, I want in a readable format. By default, I want in a readable format. That is spring.jpa.properties.hibernate.format_SQL, which is equal to true. By default, It will log all the SQL statements for better readability. I want to read very clearly. So for that purpose, we are writing these two things. So which is nothing but these are the two properties which I am going to write in my code. So the first property is what? The following property will show all or will log all SQL statements to the console. It will log all the SQL statements to the console. And next one is it will log all SQL statements in a readable format. In a readable format. What do you mean by readable format? I'm going to explain. Okay. Now I wrote these two configurations. Now I am executing this code. I wrote these two configurations. Then I am going to execute my code. So which is nothing but you see the two properties. Now you see all the SQL statements, guys. This is what readable format. Were you able to read in a proper way? If you don't write that, it will go into a single line. You see here, drop table, drop sequence, create sequence, create table, ticket ID, integer not null, destination station varchar, email varchar, passenger name varchar, source station varchar, travel date, and primary key. This is of our TBL underscore ticket. This is a TBL underscore ticket table. Then insert into TBL ticket. You're able to see the SQL statements, right? Now let me open Postman. Guys, now you are able to see all the SQL statements, right? After we write this particular configuration, spring dot jpa dot show -SQL is equal to true. Then it is logging all my SQL statements. Now you see here, I'm going to show okay. Now 88 is ticket slash all, right? Yes or no? Now let me clear this console. When I hit send, I got the data. Now you see here, select star all columns from TBL ticket. You're able to see select statement. Whenever I hit endpoint or whenever I hit this call, I got the query, right? Next, I'm going to post tickets slash create and the data is this. Okay, I'm clearing the console. I click on send. Now you see here, insert statement came, right? Insert into TBL ticket, destination station, email, passenger name, source station, travel date, ticket ID. And by default, it will print question marks. It will not print actual values in the console. You will not get it actually. Okay. So you saw insert statement, right? Now I'll keep one more insert statement. Passenger name, Sandhya, Hyderabad, sandhya@gmail.com. Now let me clear the console. I'll hit it again. So one more insert statement came, right? Now I'll select get ticket/1. I want only first ticket. I got only first ticket. Now you saw query. Select star from table where ticket ID is equal to. You saw the query. Did I write all these insert statement? Did I write all these select statements? No, right? Find by ID, find all these we have seen, right? In a CRUD repository. You remember the code, right, guys? Where, how these are coming here? We added CRUD repository, find all, select star from, find by ID, select star from table, where primary key is equal to, save, insert or update. Yes. Now I want to update. Put ticket/1/vijay@yahoo.com. This is what my data. Now I'll clear the console. Okay. Now you saw here update statement. You saw that update TBL ticket, destination station, email, passenger name, source station, travel date. This is update statement is triggered. Now when I want to say delete ticket/, I'll delete the third record. Okay. I'll clear this console. You see here, delete from table ticket where ticket ID is equal to 3. You saw delete statement also. So after writing these properties in our property file, it is going to log all the SQL statements which are generated by JPA, which are going to database. All this will be logged into the console. Understand? Spring.jpa.show-sql is equal to true. All these database statements, all these SQL statements are logged to console. Spring.jpa.show-sql is equal to true, which is going to log all the database statements to the console and which is going to format the SQL statement in a readable format. Are you clear on these 2 points, guys? Any questions so far? Anyone? I hope everyone is clear on these 2 properties. Anyone, any questions? Okay.
Vijay, this is Srinivas here. So
Yeah.
I'm good on these 2 properties, but just a additional question, follow-up question is, if I want to print only the error logs, if not all, any property.
By default, error means where you will get it actually. In the
Okay.
database side, you will get error, not on the Java side, right? You need
Yeah,
to catch that error and you need to log it. You need to use log4j or anything. You need to write a code for that.
okay. So
By
there is
default
no
framework,
property,
yes.
only print if there is error. Okay.
No. I mean, you want to print an SQL statement which is having error. You need to handle
Yes.
it. You need to handle
Okay.
it. Yes. It's a good question. Really good question. Yeah.
Sir, I have one small question.
Mhm.
I don't know, actually, I don't know the term hibernate, sir, but I understand the querying and getting the data and creating all that.
Mhm.
In the dependency, we have created H2 database that I get
Mhm.
that.
Mhm.
But here dot hibernate, that is only bothering me. That's it. In the application dot properties dot hibernate.
Where is it? We have dot hibernate.
In the application properties.
It's a code. Format
Okay.
SQL. It's a code.
Okay.
Spring.jpa.properties.hibernate.format underscore SQL is equal to. This is the JPA framework is asking me to write this particular code to get the readable format. If you don't like, you can remove that. You will get in a single line and you can read afterwards. Okay. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Fine. Any other? And by default, Afia, you're just I got a mail 8:58 that class is not started. So
No,
definitely class
yeah.
will take 9 o'clock, right? Nine
No,
o'clock
no,
they'll
sir.
start. Mhm.
Admin was not responding, so that's why I just emailed. I
By
mean,
default, not only to Afia, not only to you,
mm,
I'm telling to 11.
okay, okay,
I will mention if there is no class, minimum
okay, sir.
15 minutes before I'll mention in the Google Classroom. Okay. First of all, don't talk to any admin. Not required at all. Okay. No smartness is required. Just kindly cross check your email before joining the class. I'm a professional guy. I'll make sure that I will send minimum communication to the Google Classroom if my class is not going to be there. Okay. And if you are not getting any notification, a class will be by default there. And mostly I have 8 to 9 class, right? So I need to stop 9 o'clock class. I need to start 9 o'clock class. So it will take 1 or 2 minutes extra. Okay. So kindly be patient for 1 or 2 minutes. Okay. It's a minimum patience required. Kindly at least 9:1 or 9:2, you're going to get a class will be started. Okay. Thank you. Right. Any other questions, guys? Manasa, you have any question?
Yeah, hello sir. Like using JPA, now we are using like creating model class and creating the column names as well, right? So for suppose if we change the like property get any column name in the code, so is it will reflect in the data
Yes.
automatically?
Yes. By default, yes. Automatically. It will reflect.
So if I
You
remove
need
the
to change.
column name in the code as well, so it will reflect in the database, right?
By default, on a removal part, madam, for
Hmm.
example, you are removing only removal part, it will not remove.
Okay.
But if you change, it will change. Okay.
Okay.
If you add, it will add. Once it is added, it will not be removed on the database side. You need to manually remove, only remove parts. Okay.
Okay. So for suppose in the database side, if we change the column, it will not reflect.
No, how it will reflect, madam? If you change in database, it will not reflect, right?
Yes, yes.
If you change in the Java side, it will reflect to database.
Yeah, got it. Only removal part, it will not.
Yes, yes.
And one
Okay.
more thing. So like in using JPA, we can able to retrieve the queries like select star from table, right?
Correct. Yes, yes.
Using like can we able to retrieve with specific columns instead of star?
We'll go advanced question. No? We'll see. We'll see. It's advanced question as of now. Okay. Maybe
Oh,
5 classes advanced question you're asking. We'll discuss completely in detail. Okay.
okay, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. No need to raise the hand. You can directly. Yes, Rajesh.
Vijay, one question. So when we are adding the app in the, I mean, those configuration in the application.properties file, okay. Normally the configuration classes we write to get the values correct. How is this SQL statements are I mean, this configuration is getting called. I mean, like without I mean, if I'm wrong, or maybe my question is wrong. Say like for example, if we put something like port dot something and or say like something JDBC connection or something, okay, we normally wants to create a resource, correct? And we try to get the object of that and I mean like value of those strings, and then we will be able to connect. So how here these particular two configurations are getting called? How these are actually working?
First of all, okay. As you mentioned, the question is not a valid question, but I'll explain why it is not a valid question.
Yeah,
Can
sure.
you please? I'm hearing my voice again. I think you are listening to my class on a speakerphone. Okay. Yeah. Thank you. First point is whatever these two statements, they are not related to connection. Whatever the two statements I am writing, they are not at all related to connection, because in the last class we didn't write these two properties, but still we were able to connect to database. We were able to retrieve the data. We were able to save the data. Everything is happened. Just for our convenience only, we wrote these two properties just to check find all, find by ID, save, delete by ID. Whenever it is triggering SQL statement or not, for that purpose, we wrote this particular two statements. They are not related to any database connection object. And real connection object is by default, Spring Boot is having enable auto configure annotation. It will automatically H2 database is there. It will automatically connect at runtime only. Connection factory dot connect. It is going to make sure that it will always connect. You no need to worry about that. That is what boilerplate code. Why developer has to write a connection to database when framework can do on its own. Finally, I will save method, find by all those things it will be used by the framework only. Just a developer has to write business logic. In that way, framework is created. And why I mentioned that, it's your question is invalid is these properties are not related to connection related attributes. They are only logging the SQL statement to the console. How they have done is they created a framework. If spring.jpa.showSQL they write it true, then only log it. Otherwise, don't log it. They might have written a code in their code base. That is how your answer to the question. Is that clear?
Yes, yes. Thanks.
Thank
Thanks, Vijay.
Thank you.
Yeah, Vijay, I have one question, Asha here.
Mhm.
Generic question. Actually, today I created this application ticket application and I tested also. But later I noticed like I need to make some changes in the code. So to reflect the changes, like my application was already running, but in that running mode,
You
if
need to
I
stop.
again
You need to stop. You need to stop and you need
stop
to
with
do the changes and you need to run the
okay,
game.
okay, no other way we must stop, right? Finish.
We have a way where we
Mhm,
have a Maven plug. I mean, we have a way
mhm,
where one dependency we need to add. But what it does is, okay,
mhm.
it will automatically restart. Instead of you stop and you start it, framework will take care. I mean, Spring Boot Eclipse plugin will take care. There is a pom.xml. I think I forgot, but I'll update you. Okay. If you write
Dev
that,
tools, I guess.
yes, it's a dev tools. Correct. Dev tools. If you mention dev tools, rather than you stop and you start, framework will take care. But start and stop is mandated. Okay. Thank
Okay,
you.
sir. Thank you.
Yes. Any other questions? Everyone is clear so far? Right. Next is one of the developer already asked it 2 days back. Sir, can we see H2 database? Can we see the data in the H2 database? Someone asked me. I told one class advanced question. I'm not sure who asked that. I forgot the name, but I told one class advanced question. Now I'm going to teach. By default, can we see H2 database? Is it possible or not? Yes, it is possible. We can see the H2 database. Okay. How we can see the H2 database is nothing but by default, H2 console will be disabled. By default, H2 console will be disabled. It's not enabled by default. Okay. So we need to add H2 console to be true. Okay. By default, H2 console will be disabled. Default behavior is H2 console is disabled. Okay. So by default, H2 database console is disabled. We can enable with the following configuration. We can enable with the following configuration. The configuration is where we need to write spring dot h2 dot console enabled is equal to true and data source is by default. You need to write this. I'll explain on the data source. What is the data source means? What is the meaning of data source? What is the meaning of a data source means? Where I can get my data, the source of the data, the schema name. How can I get that particular data source. It's a place where the data is stored in the database side. So that is called as the data source. In Spring Boot, data source is having a format. So what is the format is? There are 4 properties. 1, 2, 3, 4. All are separated with colon. Okay. All are separated with colon. JDBC colon, H2 colon, mem colon, ticket. Okay. By default, JDBC colon. The first is JDBC, which is hard coded. Next is target database name. What is my target database name? H2. And where is it located? In the memory. Mem represents in the memory. And the schema name is ticket. The schema name is ticket. There are 4 letter keyword, which every letter will be separated by colon. Spring dot data source dot URL, which is equal to JDBC colon H2 colon mem colon ticket. JDBC colon H2 colon mem colon ticket. By default, it is going to have that flexibility. Okay. So spring dot data source dot URL is equal to JDBC colon H2 colon mem colon ticket. So this is the typical explanation of a data source. Okay. So data source is mandatory or optional? Data source is optional for in-memory database. You no need to write because I didn't wrote previously, right? It worked, right? Because database is created by the framework. You no need to tell the address where you want to create. Framework only knows. For example, you want to go to some new place. If you know the place already, do you need Google location? Not required, right? Google location is required only when you don't know the place, right? Here also, H2 database is created by the framework only. You no need to mention any data source. But if you want to see physically, then you need to write data source. So that in this particular data source, at this location, framework is going to write. If you don't mention this, it will take its own memory location. It is going to write there. But if I mention this, it is going to keep the data at this particular location. Spring dot data source dot URL, which is equal to JDBC colon H2 colon mem colon ticket. By default, this is going to be there. Okay. Spring dot H2 dot console dot enabled is equal to true. And this is the data source. Okay. Now we'll see the code. Now we are running the code. Run as Spring Boot app. Yes. You see here, H2 console auto configuration. H2 console is available at /H2 console. And database is available at this location. It's telling, right? H2 console is available at /H2 console. Database is available at here. That means you go to localhost :8080/H2 console, because it's giving me /H2 console, right? So this is H2 console. You're able to see that, right? Now, what is your JDBC URL? I mean, data source URL, JDBC. You take this and you take this. Username is SA. Password is empty. You don't need to give that. Connect. So that this is what H2 database. You see here, this is the data source And my table name is TBL underscore ticket, ticket ID, destination station, email, passenger name, source station, travel date. Yes or no? So select star from TBL underscore ticket. You're able to see first record. Now let me create one more record. Let me take post. Ticket slash create. I'm inserting record. It's created. You'll see Sandhya record. Right? Now you want to update. Put ticket slash one slash ramu@gmail.com, right? Let me keep ramu@yahoo.com. So which is equal to ramu@yahoo.com. Right? It's updated, right? Now delete, which is equal to ticket slash 2. It's deleted. So this is how you can see the H2 database also manually. But in real time, no one will see this. This is only important for interviews. How to see the H2 database, guys? By default, framework will not give an option to showcase the H2 database. H2 console will be by default disabled. H2 console will be enabled with a true value. And data source URL is nothing but jdbc:h2:mem::ticket. So by default, H2 console to be enabled as a true, and data source URL is equal to this particular configuration. Is it clear, everyone? Any questions here so far?
Sir, one real question. It's not a question, it's just a clarification that. So if you don't specify the database URL, so fundamentally you're just going to be use the default schema.
It's a default
here,
schema.
Yes, thank you.
Correct. It's not mandatory. First of all, you need to remember one thing. If you don't write anything in the property file also, our application is working. Yesterday we saw that, right? I mean, day before yesterday, right? If you don't write anything in the property files also, our application is working. Just we are writing just for our knowledge curve. It's logging SQL statements and enabling the H2 console and creating a data source and seeing the entries at our data source. All these things are by default. It is being used. Okay. Any other question, guys?
One question, Vijay. If it is MySQL, then it will be JDBC:MySQL.
I'm going to explain. That is what my next point, sir. Immediately, I'm going to shift that only. Now we are going to, now next exercise is, I will keep the code as it is. I will not change any code. I will install MySQL and I'll change my data source like JDBC:MySQL address schema, something like I will write. I'll give MySQL username and password. Then it will go to MySQL database. No change in the code. I'm going to explain that only. Okay. Right. Any other? Everyone is clear, right? Yeah. Now, what my next statement is, sir, I want to change the database, sir. Now I want to change the database. What I am going to do is, I am keeping the same code as it is for your reference. I am copy pasting to the new project, MySQL. I'm just for our reference only. I'm keeping the old project for H2 database, new project for MySQL. In the meanwhile, I hope everyone is aware of how to install MySQL. Okay. If you don't know, kindly follow any article, internet article, MySQL database download for Windows 64-bit. So this is the by default. You need to go with this download. Also, you need to install MySQL Workbench editor front end. MySQL Workbench also, if you require it, you can install because it's a front end editor. This is a Workbench URL. Two things you need to install. Okay. What is Workbench is, once it is installed, you'll see MySQL Workbench. It's a front end editor. And default is default username is root. It listening to the 3306 default port. Whenever I clicked on it, it is opening all these particular windows. Okay. Right. Here I'm going to, yeah, nothing schema is available. I need to create a schema first because it's external database, right? Framework create in not schema. Plus symbol, you are able to see that here, plus symbol, plus database. You need to click that. Okay. 9 to 10 batch underscore ticket. This is my schema name. Apply. Apply. Finish. So this is my schema name. If you see here, this is a schema name. No tables, nothing. A plain schema. You're able to see that? Yes. Now, first of all, what I need to do here, if I want to convert into MySQL, first I need to remove H2. Am I right? H2 dependency I need to remove, right? And I will remove H2 dependency because we don't need H2 right now. MySQL we need. This is the first entry. Okay. And we are going to take MySQL. Let me. One second, guys. I have, I'll copy paste that. Yes, this is MySQL database. If you take also, it will come on the starting of that MySQL connector Java runtime. This is a first change we need to do that. What it will do, it will download the MySQL JDBC jar. Okay. Schema means it's a database only. Okay. Mahesh Babu, are you clear? You have a knowledge of JDBC, right, Mahesh Babu? Because schema is it's not a JDBC word only. Just I'm getting worried. So schema means it's a database name. Okay, right. Now MySQL database entries, which is going to load the JDBC jar. Now, after that, I only need to change. I don't want to connect to this. Okay, I don't want to connect. Configuration for MySQL connection. Configuration for MySQL connection. That's the point we want to take here. Okay. So by default, you are going to which is nothing but these are the properties I am taking here. Spring dot data source dot URL JDBC MySQL. I'll remove this. Localhost 3306 is the MySQL. And what is my schema name? 9 to 10 batch underscore ticket. This is my JDB. Someone asked a question, right? How to write for MySQL? This is MySQL. And by default, our username is root. Password is, this is what the password I have given. And you don't need to worry about dialect. It will automatically take dialect. I'll not, okay. DDL mode, I'm going to tell you. Not now, I'll tell you after some time. DDL mode, I'm going to explain. So this is a configuration for connecting to MySQL database. Go to JDBC MySQL on this URL, connect with username, connect with the password, and in this schema, you need to try this. Okay. Is it clear, everyone? I'll explain DDL off and auto after some time. This you'll ignore as of now. Remaining three, everyone is clear? Yes. Now I'll run my code. That's it. Over. Now it will connect into MySQL. It will connect to MySQL. Yes. Now you see here. If you refresh, you're able to see TBL underscore tickets, ticket ID, destination station, email, passenger name, source station, travel date. You're able to see ticket Ramu tickets. Yes or no? Now whenever I insert record, which is equal to I'm posting. Now second record is created. You saw that Sandhya's record. So without doing any change, just I added JDBC jar in the pom.xml from MySQL to, H2 database I commented, I added MySQL and I wrote only connecting to MySQL. No Java code change. Automatically H2 to MySQL is going to happen. This is the beauty of JPA. Okay. Any questions here, guys? Anyone? First 3 points. Anyone has any questions? Okay.
The data
Hello.
source, how is it is configured, sir? Because this is an external DB data source for MySQL, how this is configured internally.
What is that actually? It is, I clearly wrote, right? Go to localhost 3306 with this username, with this password, and connect to the schema. I gave all the information right here.
Yeah. Okay, sir. Fine.
Yes. Any other?
One more question means, suppose we need to connect two or more schemas.
Yes. I'll go. Good question. Very, very good question. Okay. Yeah. By default, Spring Boot is designed for microservices architecture. Okay. Spring Boot framework is specially designed for microservices architecture only. As part of microservices architecture, every service will have only one schema. It's a principle, design principle of microservice. Every microservice should have only one schema only. Every microservice should have only one schema. But If you want to connect multiple schemas, Spring Boot is not given automated code. You need to write Spring JDBC. How you will work with a JDBC code in Spring? Manually writing entity manager factory, connection manager factory, transaction management factory, and connecting to entity. All those code you need to write manually if you want to connect multiple schemas. Spring Boot is not automated to that extent. Always, it is designed for microservices architecture. The fundamental principles of microservice architecture is always it will connect to single database. Clear?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Any other questions by anyone? Everyone is clear? Next one is DDL. I'm going to explain DDL. What is DDL? It's not a movie name. DDL is nothing but
Data definition language.
correct. Data definition language. That means what is data definition language means? Create table,
Alter.
alter table, drop table, or delete table. All these are the commands for defining the tables or defining the schema. Okay, which is nothing but data definition language. So whenever we are connecting to permanent database, do I need to create the schema every time you run, or first time only you create the schema, second time onwards you just sync the schema, or else every time you run, drop the entire schema and create a new schema, or else no. First time only we require the schema. On next subsequent trials, you just cross check any column is added, any column is modified, and you sync with your Java to database. These are the two modes we are going to have. By default, if DDL-auto is equal to create, okay, if DDL-auto is equal to create, always it will drop the existing schema and creates new tables and creates tables again during every startup. If it's equal to update, first time only it will create schema. First time only it will create the schema, and comparison or sync, comparison by sync will happen on every startup. So we'll use update in real-time projects. We'll use update in our real-time situations. Okay. So this is about on the DDL-auto create, DDL-auto update, which is equal to always it will drop the existing table, it will drop the create table. So this is which is going to do that. So everyone is clear, right?
Sir, one quick question actually. So when these operations are basically done at the start of the application or when the controller is executed?
At the start of application, it is going to.
Okay.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Only two options available.
Only
Any option?
what is an, I mean, for example, what exactly you need? Either we'll create always or we'll keep always. And apart from that, we don't have any other options, right? I mean,
Yes, sir.
forget about framework.
Yes, sir.
Either we'll drop or we'll create, we'll keep it. Apart from
Yes,
that,
sir.
we don't have any other things, right? Yes.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. So this is what, so far you can try with that and everything. So as of now, I'm going to share the code. And tomorrow I'm going to start the basic data JPI is over. Okay. Basic data JPI is over. I'm going to focus on advanced data JPI. Like I'm going to explain further on advanced topic on Monday class. Okay. So guys, everyone, first my humble request is kindly import my project only. Don't try any other things. First import my project and execute it. Okay. After you got output, you play around it. Understand, right? Don't play it and ask me directly. You need to apply your brain. You need, that's why, first of all, when you import my project and you execute it, you should get an output. Okay. So topic, complete ticket booking application in H2 and MySQL. Understand, right? First import my project and execute my project. And if it is working in my computer, it will also work in your computer also, right? Then you hit trial and errors. Understand, right? Yes. I've shared the code to everyone. And tomorrow is a Sunday, no class. Everyone, I am requesting kindly practice tomorrow. You are getting Sunday. As I mentioned in the demo class, everyone should join daily. Everyone should practice daily. Please keep the word. And I want everyone should try and before Monday class starts. Will you? Everyone will do that, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Sir,
sir.
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 Sir, I am not able to run in the Postman. I'm not able to get the output. Could you help me in this?
Yes.
Or we need to change anything in the Postman?
Nothing. You can share your screen. Guys, Prasad Aravind, can you go on mute if you don't mind? How many times we should tell, man? I'm giving an option, ma'am. Yes.
I shared my screen, sir. Are you able to see?
Yes, I'm able to see that.
So
Okay.
I ran the application in the Postman. So
Can you go? I told header, right? Content type, I told, right? Key. Can you go to key? No, ma'am. Key below key. Yes. Can you type content type? I told actually content type. Application A. You can type A. JSON. Third option.
Yes.
Okay. Can you go to body now?
This one I manually written this.
Why you are returning manually? Okay. Remove everything. Remove everything. Get /1 in the URL. Get /1.
I have not created anything, even though I need.
No. By default, you will get a one ticket, right?